to Power Conversations podcast by What's Your Superpower TV. This podcast features conversations of overcoming by faith and pushing through to fulfill a purpose-driven life. This podcast is hosted by CEO and best-selling author Nadia Francois. Welcome to the broadcast. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Power Conversations podcast summer book tour, our Juneteenth edition. Power Conversations is a division of What's Your Superpower Digital Media, a kingdom empowerment brand that offers visibility opportunities to entrepreneurs, authors, and coaches and community leaders. Learn more at www.whatsuperpower.com. Today we have joining us author Rachele Dixie, and I'm going to read a little bit of her bio. Rachele Dixie is an author and ordained pastor. She holds a master's degree in human services and a master's of divinity degree from Asbury Theological Seminary. Pastor Rachele was one of the 50 co-authors on the National Prayer Book published in 2020 and has recently released her own recovery devotional titled The Renewing Mind, Devotions to Recovery and Life Transformation. Rachele has worked in the human services field for over 30 years, with 20 of those years being in addictions and recovery. She also has served in the role of pastor of ministry operations and continues to offer pastoral counseling. Rachele has the gift of teaching, service, counsel, and encouragement. Welcome, Queen. How are you?
Oh, I am wonderful. Thank you so much.
You are very welcome. So now we are talking about your authorship today. How did you begin your writing journey?
Well, as my bio stated, I was a co-author on a National Women's Prayer Book that was published in May of 2020. And actually, there was a lady who recommended me as one of the co-authors. And the book again, it was prayers
Mm-hmm.
for several different areas. And so I got the opportunity to write actually three of the prayers in the book. And even at that time, I had started writing the devotional, but I didn't think of it as I would be writing a devotional. I just had started writing a few devotions down. So it really kind of got evolved it with the opportunity to write in the National Prayer Book, and then encourage my spirit to continue on and complete the recovery devotional.
Awesome. So tell us more about the devotional.
Well, as you said, it's called The Renewing Mind, and it is a recovery devotional for people in recovery, but it's also a transformative devotional. There are 52 devotions within the book, and a person can actually do a devotion per week. Each devotion, after it's completed, there are four questions, and they're the same four questions that you can go back and kind of study and uh, think about what the devotion kind of has brought out for you in your journey. And so it's just very short one pagers. And when I say one pagers, I don't mean long page, I mean like a long paragraph. And it really basically just drops a nugget. God would give me different titles, quick, quirky titles to
Yeah.
each devotion, but within it, he was directing a specific nugget. And the goal was really, as I was writing it, to encourage people who were in their recovery journey to kind of push past the old habits of thinking. And that's why I called it the renewing mind, the old habits of thinking, so that they could get to a better place, because it is a journey. It's not just overnight. And so part of that was, I wanted them to be able to look at just something simple. A lot of times we complicate some of the things that we're trying to do just
Yeah.
to change our life and change our mindset. But God allowed me to be able to just do it where it was just enough so that, the person could grab hold of something for that day, for that week, and just walk with that in their recovery journey.
Love it. Love it. And so, what is your motivation for writing, period? Just overall.
Really, as encouragement, um, the way I actually came to writing this devotional in particular, I was working in a community mental health center. And part of what I did was, well, at that time, solely what I did was groups. And one of the groups that I did was spirituality. And really to bring more of a connection to Christ into the spirituality conversation, I wrote I started, like I said, I started and I did not actually finish. I mean, it took me a while to finish them all because I just started them just so I could have something that each person could come together. We would read the devotion and then we would be able to just have a discussion about it. And what I found was that it was encouraging to people, that people could take a different perspective on what spirituality was and really bring it home to how Jesus Christ really could change and transform their lives. And so, as I continued writing each devotion, that was really my heart, to really encourage people in their spirit man, so that it wasn't, again, just about the old habits and the things that they did, by rote, which many of us do. We do things
Right.
so habitually, but to give them a fresh perspective and encourage them and just, something to just kind of get in there and
Yeah.
give them a hope. So that's really my motivation, that anybody that picks up this devotional, if it's just one of them, if it's just one devotion, let
Mm.
it give somebody a hope as they continue in their life journey.
Absolutely. That's good. That's good. And so, when you are writing, who is your target audience?
For this particular work, it was people in recovery, but actually, as we continued and we read over it, and that being my publisher and my editor, we thought about it as more of a transformative work. And so, really, the goal is not to just do this one devotional, but to do it as a series over maybe the next 2 to 3 years, where we offer a second volume and a third volume to really help people. Who are struggling in different areas. It doesn't even just have to be recovery.
Yeah.
It could be people who are dealing with issues of grief and issues of mental illness, which this does touch on a little bit, but there could be so much more focus on that. So just focusing in a particular area that someone may be struggling in, people who've had difficult relationship issues, or issues from their childhood, trauma issues. So people who are in a place where they want to see something break off of their life
Mhm.
is really who I would be targeting. Let's break off the old so that we can get to the new.
I love that. I love that. So, excuse me. I know I read a little bit of your bio. I
Mhm.
want you to tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Well, as I said in the bio, a lot of my life has been working in human services. I've worked in several genres of the field. I've worked in, childhood services. I've worked again in recovery and mental health. I actually started out my journey working with the severely mentally ill. I've done, work as a case manager. So I've really run the gamut of different types of work within trying to be able to serve and to help other people. And as it also said, I have been a pastor. I was ordained back in 2013. And part of the thing that I love as well is to be able to bring a Christ centered perspective to people as they counsel. And I tell people this as well. I'm not shy about it. I've gone through counseling myself.
Mm.
And when I was younger, I was in my late 20s, early 30s. Um, I went through, worked with a Christian psychologist, and it was just such a uh, change for my life, and I'm actually still living some of those things that I learned and being able to utilize them in my own life now. So I really love that part of who God has made me to be. I don't have any kids, but I have lots of spiritual children, lots of spiritual siblings, and I just love being around God's people. And so that's really my heart and my focus. So right now, my focus is again getting back to writing some more, because this is really where I am right now in my life, to be able to just write and see what God puts on the page to help people. So my heart is to help. My heart is to really follow His path for me, and to follow the vision of the kingdom work that I'm supposed to be doing.
I love that. Yes, yes, yes. Great, great. So I also want to know, what impact are you trying to make with your work?
Just to see people again, as I said earlier, grab a nugget of hope. I want to see somebody's face change and light up. I want to see somebody's perspective change, and because we can walk in a certain way for so long, that we really don't even realize that there's something more out there for us. I'd love to see people meet their destiny. In fact, my years ago, my heart was to do a program called Destiny Project, which was about sharing and mentoring and helping not just women, but women and men to find out who they were and how they could actually live their destiny. So that's really my heart, to see, where people can go from where they've been, and to use that history, so that they don't have to feel like there's nothing more for me. Their history can teach us so much, and it is the catalyst to help us to serve and to help someone else. So that's really what my heart is to do, is to see people grab onto what their true destiny is.
Amazing. Yes, great. So, with that being said, I want to allow you to give us your final thoughts, and
Mhm.
then let us know how we can purchase this book.
Okay. Well, one of my life verses is in Romans 12:2, and it says, "Be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." And the mind is we've heard the mind is a battlefield, but we have the power really to change our thinking patterns, and the way that our thinking moves our life. And so I'm just hopeful that people would take the time to, with all the authors you've spoken to just read some of the material that's out there that can help people find a different mindset, that can help them move forward in this life journey. Because to be stuck is an awful place to be. And I think with the way that the world is moving now so quickly, we really have to be focused. And so take the time to read and to do what God is calling you to do, however He's calling you to do it, to be able to focus your mind in the direction that's going to help you move your life forward. And so, the Renewing Mind is on Amazon, and it also is in Barnes and Noble. So you could go to either site, and you could, look up the book there and purchase it in that way. I am on Facebook. I'm a public figure on Facebook, so you can always find me there, message me there. My personal email is Destiny, which I was talking about earlier, Destiny, DESTINEE .project@gmail.com. And anybody, you're welcome to give me an email, and let me know what's on your heart, or if you want to get book, or if you want to do some counsel. I'm always open to see what God is wanting to share through me to help someone else.
I love it. Y'all connect with this queen. Get that book, devotional, The Renewing Mind, Devotions to Recovery and Life Transformation by Rachele Dixie. Thank you so much, Queen, for joining us.
I appreciate you so much, and I appreciate what you're doing. So you continue to be blessed in your work.
Thank you. I will do my best.
Okay. Thank you again.